Okay, so I'm going to show you from start to finish how to set up the Schwerer Gustav. And I have 3 schematics here. You're going to want, well, at least the Schwerer Gustav schematic, but we also have one for the body and we have one for the barrel. The barrel you might need as a reference, the body you may or may not need. So we'll start with this one. This is just the entire thing. So there it is. So I'm just going to move it up off the ground so that we can get at it easily, and then I will print it in. And here we go. Just know that whenever you print it in or whenever you try to get the material list, it doesn't know what these are for some reason. The schematics cannot deal with, I guess, what are they from? The Mine Colonies building mod thing. You're going to have to do that yourself. I think it's like, I don't even remember. I'll put it on screen. So if you take a look at this, it's got all of its glue that goes with it, which is good. And it's effectively ready to use if you're doing it in a stationary position. All we really need to do is give it some power. So you're going to want an energy transmitter, and then you're going to want to give it some power, and then you're going to want to set the channel to Gustav power and have it be on channel 1. And so we'll just leave it like that. And if you take a look in this forward section of this, you'll see that it's receiving power here. This transmitter is the power input here, so everything else now is just going to go based off of that. So this thing is currently powered with an energy transmitter, and so we will just flip that and we'll get rid of this because it's currently all the way in there. We don't want that. You'll notice as well that by default, at least when you print it in, this thing is locked onto it. It's screwed on and attached to the gun. So now to start, where we want this to be able to be loaded, we're going to flick this lever, which is going to reverse the direction of that cogwheel, which unscrewed the breech, and now we can push this button to remove the cogwheel, and we will push this button to, oh my god. For some reason I had to push that twice, and then it removed, and I can push it again, and it goes forward. If it doesn't go the first time, apparently push it again, and it then works, and I haven't broken or replaced anything. I've done nothing to this other than it's still just been printed and supplied with power. So in order to load this thing, you're going to want to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charges, powder charges, and then you're going to have a shell here, the shell that you want. I don't think you can use the stones. I think they'll blow up. So put a shell. And now to load this, we're going to just change that, and it's going to send it in there. You may want to do something to speed this up because, boy, is it slow. There, it's loaded. Now you're going to want to attract this to get this out of the way. And you're going to want to push this button, and you're going to want to push that button. And that's going to send the breech and the cogwheel back in place. But to screw the cogwheel back on, we're going to flip that. And it is now sealed back on there. So then you're going to flick this, and that's going to assemble the gun. You'll see now, if you have the free camera or whatever, you can just go and look, and it's going to look like one solid thing instead of a bunch of individual blocks. And if you want to fire this thing, get yourself a link controller, bind something to light gray / local metal, and fire away. There you go. That's the firing sequence. Well, almost. Obviously, to reset it, you're going to want to unform or deform the gun, change the screw direction, remove the cogwheel, and then lastly remove the breech, and now it's ready to be reloaded. So that is just a static firing of it with not any going up and down. In order to get this to go up and down, you're going to want to do something different. This is technically optional, but if you want the full experience, you're going to need Create Interactive, which is still unfortunately kind of buggy. If you use Create Interactive in survival, it'll break some other contraptions, like deployers will stop working. It's kind of just not particularly playable right now. But you want the full experience, you're going to take an Interact Me. You're going to place it there. It has no texture. So here's the deal with this when you want to actually raise it up and down. And if you don't do it right, then it will not work and it'll seem really weird and there'll be big problems. So if you attempted to do it right now, I just stuck stuff in there, watch what will happen. Nothing will happen. And if you take a look at this, it'll say, unable to assemble, maximum amount is 2048. Maybe you've already changed that for other contraptions, maybe not. If you did change it, then you're going to be experiencing a lot of lag and upset right this moment. But let's stop that. And the reason for that is because these poles are in a different section of glue. they're in part of the body glue. And that will mess it up until you do this, where you raise the breech and the cog back up. Now the poles are gone, and if you were to hit this again, now it works. And so it's going down right now, so you can just flick this, and this will just change the direction. Whenever you change that, whenever you hit that button, it'll just change to the direction up or down. You can hit this again to stop it. And if it's not doing that, make sure that you have this mechanical bearing set to only place when anchor destroyed, otherwise you might end up with a really bad time. But this is just a normal contraption, so let's go ahead and put this back. Here, let's get this back to right here, deform it. If you actually want to make this function, you're going to have to get Crate Interactive, and I wouldn't recommend this for survival because it breaks some features of trains and contraptions like deployers. It just kind of bugged unless it's been updated recently. Maybe it has. Either way, for full functionality, get Interactive, get an Interact Me block, stick it right there, or wherever. It's got no texture, just the way it is. You probably want to hide it somewhere else, but we'll just stick it right there for convenience. Now that you have that there, you can just go ahead, push this button again, and it might flicker a little bit more, might take a little bit longer, but now if you hover over this, you'll see that it is an interactive thing, so you can build off of it. Now you're ready to make this work while it's elevated. So let's see, I don't remember where I left off. Right, I need to screw this on, so we'll flick this, that will screw the breech in, and now we'll flick this lever, that will assemble the gun, and it's ready to shoot. There we go. And then to reload it, you're going to want to deform the gun. You're going to want to move this back down. I mean, it can be pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact. It can just be generally there. You can deform it, and then we will just go through the unloading sequence. We'll reverse the spinning of the cogwheel to unscrew the breech. Then this goes back down. This goes back down, and you're ready to reload. That is how you do the full firing of it when it's not in train form. In fact, in train form, it's the same exact way. It's the same steps for trains. However, to get this into a train, there's one big thing that you have to do. And when I say train, I mean interactive train. A train that can actually move and shoot and everything. You can assemble it without interactive into a train. However, it will have no functionality while it's a train. You can only move it around, and it won't do anything else. This thing already comes with phantom train tracks in the schematic, and it's got the bogies here. So we just need to make sure we position a train station in the right spot to form it into a train, which I think is basically right here. Let's see. Let's then put this here, create a new train. And yes, so put the station one block ahead of the bogies, and you'll see now that it should have come up with 3 bogies, which it has. So here, I'll move the Interact Me. We can come down here, and we can assemble it into a train. No, we can't, because the maximum contraption limit is 2048. So you are going to need to change that. To change that, you're going to go into the Crate Mod settings in the pause menu. Go to here, go to Gameplay Settings, Kinetics, Contraptions. Down here, change this number to a big number, like 16,000. Now, come back here and assemble the train. Assuming your game doesn't crash or lag or have some big problem, then you now have the Schwerer Gustav as a train. A non-functional train, I should add. Actually, scratch that. It is a functional train. Look, it actually is. The reason for that is because despite removing the Interact Me block, when you put it down and then you assemble it and then you keep it there, even when you remove it, again, it will remember that it's supposed to be an interactive thing, which is why there is an Interact Me not. If I were to assemble it with this next time, it would stop being an interactive train. But it is still an interactive train right now, so this is a bad example. I'm going to extend this track farther out for the sake of demonstration. And if you are using Crate Interactive, you have to be careful, because if you happen to go off the track, it will just derail the train, and then it's a hassle to put it back on there. You can, it's not permanently broken, but it's annoying. So we extended the track. We can drive this forward, and it is working as a train, but it's still interactive, so you can build stuff off of it. But you cannot shoot properly. The reason for that is because you'll see there's no glue here. I can shoot it in the static form pointing straight forward. That will work fine. In fact, I'll do it right now so you can see. So you can see it's still a train. We can send this back up. We can send this back up. There it goes. Seal the breech on. Assemble the gun. And where's my controller? Give me this. That just shot it off of the train. So that part works fine, but you cannot raise and lower the barrel, which is the last functionality it's missing. The reason you can't is because there's no glue. When you form it into an interactive entity, it removes all the glue because the glue just went into making it a train. In order to get this actually going up and out, you have to add an entirely new set of glue onto the barrel assembly, which is really hard. The reason that I created this other schematic here, which is just the barrel, so let's just stick it very close by. We'll print this here, and so look, this is the barrel assembly, and this is all the glue that it has on it. And in order to get this interactive train working, you have to add the exact same glue that you see here onto it. While not impossible, you can see this is not very survival friendly. You have to do this exactly the way it is here. Otherwise, if stuff overlaps that's not supposed to, it will mess up these sticky pistons, and then you won't be able to raise and lower the cog in the breech. It's not fun. I'm not going to blabber all the way through this, but I will show the entirety of me regluing this, and you can follow it, and you'll have this as a reference. But me specifically talking is not going to help. Optimistically, I think I got all of the individual glue sections that go into this thing. So I am going to, or am I looking at another one right there? I'm going to go ahead and see if this is it. It's been a while since I did this, so we're going to find out. Oh, the gun was still assembled. Yeah, if you don't disassemble the gun, then it will be bad. So here. Ah. So the gun barrel went with it. Let's check. Did we get everything? We did get everything. The real issue, though, is if this is still working. Not that I need to do this now, but I should be able to remove that, and I should be able to remove that. And I should be able to move that back and that back. I can. Oh, yeah. That is great to see. Here, let's screw the breech on so we can assemble it now. There's no shell in it, though. Darn it. At least I don't think I remember putting anything in. No, nothing there. Okay, let me... Oh, what the heck is that? What happened to you? So I've been unable to duplicate this when it's disassembled. I assumed that it had got tripped up some reason when you were lowering something down. I don't know what the deal is. So how about this, guys? Let's see. We just removed that. So let's go ahead. Are we in line? Let's go ahead and do this now. We're going to raise both of these up. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to redo that. We're going to attach it. We're going to do that. We're going to form the gun. Now we're going to power this and move this up. And I don't want to see anything getting slid down anywhere. Thank you. So now it's still a train, by the way, just so you guys can see what I mean. It is very much a train. If I get out my thing, we can... Why was my lever not pushed? It shouldn't have even been able to work without the lever. I don't get it. Here. That is how it works. That is full functionality. It's a train. It's shooting. It's elevating. Let's descend, disassemble, and reload so that you can see that it is in fact working despite the nightmare that it seems to be. Because yes, it is a little bit of a nightmare. Just a reminder, you do need to assemble it before it turns into a cannon. Otherwise, it will not bring the cannon with it, and things will be bad. Where did my thing go? Insane, guys. Insane. So hopefully this tutorial made it a little bit easier. Lots of people were having trouble with it, and you can see why. I mean, yeah, this was not easy to make work, and it only barely works because it really pushes Minecraft Create Mod and all that to its limits. One other thing I should mention that you may have issues with, I did when I was building this and testing it, is if you unload the chunk and then come back, it may or may not screw up the various links. As in, they just stop responding for some reason, and you have to go break and replace them. I'm talking about the coded links down here. It was really not fun. I don't know if it's still going to do that, but that's something to be aware of. Another thing to be aware of is sometimes weird things will happen. It'll get glitchy, disassembling, reassembling, loading, unloading, and you might start getting ghost transmission power, where it's not actually being powered, but on one channel, like, I don't know, Gustav Cog 3, this will just be ghost powered. Nothing will be going into any of these anywhere, and it'll just be ghost powering it, which will then start breaking stuff down here. And you either have to switch the channel or break it, relog, come back, and then it will remove the ghosts from the transmitters. This was something that was really annoying when I was trying to design and test this, as you can imagine, combined with those stupid links stopping working. I think I fixed it with a chunk loader, actually, to make it not unload the chunks. But anyways, hopefully that makes some things better. Let me know if you have any additional questions, and happy building.